Hi, guys. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. My name is Adriana, and welcome back to another video. If you're new here, hi. We are Modern Avenue, and we redesign, we create furniture. Other than that, we have a huge announcement for you guys today. It's the biggest transformation that we've had in this year, 2022. And it's not one or two, but it's a four-piece mid-century modern Broyhill Saga Premiere set. I can't wait to show you guys the final result. It's gonna blow your mind. But before we start, I just wanted to thank all of you guys for all the love that you guys have given us to our videos. It really truly means a lot, so thank you. Let's get started. This is a solid and well-built dresser, chest, and two nightstand set by Broyhill Premier from the Saga series. The Saga design line was produced between 1960 and 1970 by Broyhill Couples Classic mid-century modern design made with dark walnut wood. These pieces feature an iconic carved starburst pattern with sculpted metal handles. Okay, now a quick funny story. I purchased a set off of Marketplace. When it was posted, it was actually just the dresser. When I arrived to pick it up, the seller told me that he had the chest and the two nightstands available, and he asked me if I wanted them, and of course, I had to snag them because they were so rare and so beautiful, and I quickly agreed, of course. If you don't know, these pieces are super rare to find, especially with all four pieces. So it was definitely my rare unicorn of 2002. So to get started, we used 100 grit to remove the original finish off. This set had very deep damages, and we wanted to make sure that we removed all of that in the sanding process. This sanding process was actually very challenging just because of the size of the set. The dresser had 9 drawers with 2 opening doors, the chest had 5 drawers, and the nightstands had 1. But again, these pieces are oversized, so it took a whole day to sand it to bare wood. The next step was to bondo all of the damages that the pieces had. My client also requested to add new hardware. Usually I would leave it, maybe restore it if I can, but in this case, she wanted to change it to this specific hardware. This is the last part of our sanding process. Here, I will sand the edges of the dresser to bare wood. I started by cleaning and then sanding with my orbital. It was actually a lot of labor and elbow grease, but we wanted to make sure that the original finish was completely off. I actually started by stripping with QCS. I liked it, but because it was a small portion, it actually got everywhere, so I changed my mind and removed the product with acetone and my sander. To be honest, most of the hard labor was in the beginning. It was definitely one of the hardest commission sets that we have done this year. Okay, so we are finally done with sanding. Next, we will clean off the excess dust and residue to make the surface ready for painting. I will be using TSP and water to clean the inside of the drawers and also the rest of the furniture. When we were moving the chest of drawers around, I noticed that the left side top was loose. I wanted to glue it, but my glue nozzle was not big enough, so I grabbed a syringe and applied wood glue inside the gap as well as cleaned the excess off. After all that work, we are finally ready to paint. This is actually my inflatable spray painting booth. I lined the drawers up to make it easy to access. Since I will be painting white on a dark wood surface, I will prime with Bullseye 123 Primer by Zinsser in white. This will also help the adhesion of the paint and also block bleed-through stains. I coated all of the pieces with one coat of primer with my handy-dandy Wagner spray gun to get a smooth and even coat. After I finished all the drawers, I primed the dresser. Since it was a bigger piece, I did have to prime 2 times to get into all the crevices and spaces. My number 1 rule to get a smooth finish is to sand in between every coat of paint. No matter if it's primer, paint, or top coat, the more sanding, the better. It also helps to take away any dust or particles that were left behind before the top coat. Here I am gonna sand with 320 grit. As I was sanding, I did notice that there were a couple of dents that I missed in the prepping stage. This is very common when working with wood pieces. They often camouflage and they are sometimes hard to miss when they are so little. I'm just going to mix some Bondo and cover them up. Before painting, I made sure that all pieces were clean. After sanding, like I said, there is a lot of residue dust. Here, I'm just gonna use a clean damp rag. We are finally ready to paint. Again, I am using my Wagner Spray Detail Nozzle Sprayer. It really does cut my time in half, especially with huge projects like this one. Now we are ready to spray paint the hinges. This is a very antique piece, so we will not be able to replace the hinges with new ones. Before spray painting them, I clean them with TSP and water. And also scrub them with some Barkeeper's Friend to remove all the tarnish and all of the gunk. Since they will be used often, I make sure to give them 2 coats on each side and wait about 2 hours in between for them to dry. Remember when I told you guys that I had to cover up the old holes for the hardware? Okay, so this is the hardware my client picked. I am using this tool and it has different kinds of measurements for different sizes of hardware. I just centered and marked where I wanted the holes. This will make drilling so much easier. I am again sanding after drilling the holes. The smooth surface is going to be so worth it at the end. For the paint color, I am using Spanish Sand by Behr. It's such a pretty white shade. I know it seems like I am painting again and again, but this is the process of refinishing a quality piece. The finish will look so good at the end, and the biggest plus, it will have a finish that will last years. It's so important to make sure all the prep work in between gets done. This is my second coat of paint. I also added 1 coat of water-based polyurethane for durability. My client picked out this beautiful botanical wallpaper with white and beige tones. It really makes the inside pop when you open up the drawers. Before I taped the wallpaper, I made sure to clean with TSP and also removed any paint with a scrubbing sponge and glass cleaner. I also always make sure to measure a little bit more of wallpaper and then use a blade to cut off whatever is left over. It's better to have more than less in this scenario. Here we are reattaching the doors with the new painted hinges. I was really hoping that there would be no issues with the doors. In the past, I have had problems with putting them back due to the paint swelling the wood just a little or having to wiggle them around to get them to align perfectly. But in this case, I was so happy when they closed and they aligned perfectly just as they used to. And here is the final result. My client was so amazed by how they turned out, and so were we. They look so beautiful and so good. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for our next video. We're going to be using another method to add wooden dowel to drawers. It's going to be a very interesting video. So goodbye for now and see you guys soon.